Well, it is a red dawn in Canberra this morning as Treasurer Jim Chalmers prepares to hand down his fourth budget tonight. But gone are the surpluses. Now comes the deficit, and they are forecast for much of the next decade. Joining us live now is Labor MP Daniel Molino and the Liberal Senator Jonathon Duniam. Good morning to you both. Dan, is this a disappointing end after those surpluses?
Oh, sorry, just didn't catch you quite there, but thanks for having me on this morning. Look, I'd say we need to look at the government's fiscal position in the context of its management over the last 3 years. And we've delivered two surpluses, and that was a result of restrained spending and also banking the fiscal uplift that we achieved or that occurred in the first couple of years. That was a result of stronger commodities prices, but even more so stronger than expected labour markets. And what that means is that gross debt is now $177 billion less than it would have been if the trajectory that we inherited had continued. And that means $60 billion less in interest payments over the coming decade. So the fiscal position and the debt position has improved considerably. But look, people are still doing it tough. So we think that it's appropriate that we, in this budget, put in place additional cost of living measures, some of which have been announced already.
And what else is coming?
Well, I don't know, and even if I did, I couldn't say, but I can honestly say I'll find out when you do, or maybe 5 minutes before.
OK. Jonathan, what's your response to all of that?
Well, I think this is the budget the government didn't want to have to deliver, because the papering over of the cracks over the last couple of years, using windfall gains to try and make it look like things are much better than they are, has finally been exposed as just that, papering over the cracks. I mean, we are now with the deficit and deficits into the future. They say it's all about responsible budget management and fiscal management. Well, I think some of the measures that we've seen over the last few years clearly haven't been a hallmark of good budget management, and those numbers bear it out. So it will be interesting to see tonight whether there are measures in there that actually do go to deal with some of these issues in a structural sense, both on a budget management side of things, but also cost of living as well. I mean, it's great to have these supplement payments that will assist by using taxpayers' money to help pay their own power bills. But are there going to be structural changes to the energy market, to how we bring on gas, for example, to bring on supply and therefore bring down prices? Are those sorts of structural changes going to be in there or not? It remains to be seen, but I don't hold my breath and have high hopes for this budget.
Well, back to you, Daniel. As economist Chris Richardson pointed out, has the economic windfall from a higher tax take and resources been squandered?
No, because I would point to the fact that gross debt is considerably lower, $177 billion lower than it would have been based on the trajectory that we inherited. And as I said, in a very concrete way, that means tens of billions of dollars less over the next decade in interest payments. I mean, if we look at the claim that there is too much government spending, what I'd say is that the opposition often claims that they want structural reform, but without putting any kind of detail on it. If we look at the last few weeks, the Labor Party has come out with a number of ideas, including a significant increase in investment in Medicare. And as soon as we came out with that idea, the opposition matched it the same day or the next day. So they complain about our general direction, but then it seems as though all the major initiatives we have, they'll match to try and get that issue off the agenda.
And that's true for a lot of the recent announcement, Jonathan, and Labor did chalk up those surpluses. Inflation is down, unemployment is staying at lows. Does some credit need to be given to that Labor story when our economic position is not all that different to other nations around the world?
Well, I'll always give credit where it is due, but to run the line that, hey, things aren't great, but they're not as bad as they could have been is not what a measure of success should be, and it's not what Australian households are looking for. And yeah, we might have matched a number of the commitments around health in particular in recent times, and I think ensuring that we do have a health system that actually functions when so many of our state governments are letting us down is not a bad approach to take. But you know, when you've got things like Future Made in Australia, bunkum programs that aren't delivering anything in the way of jobs in this country, or the Housing Australia Future Fund that hasn't built a single house in this country, I mean, they're the sorts of things that we haven't matched, and they're the kind of things that I think should be shown the door if there's a change of government.
All right.